Hi, my name is Samuel Morris. Welcome to 3rd and 4th grade English Language Arts. We're glad you're here. Today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite parts of a text or of an article, which are the graphic features. Now these are going to be your images and icons that you probably are more familiar with than you already know. So today, what our objective is, well, we're going to identify, we're going to analyze, and we're going to explain those features of the text, those graphic features, and how they help us understand more and what they can communicate to other people as well. Let's get started. So icons are something that you're probably familiar with already. By taking a look at these here, well, if you needed to use your camera, I'm guessing you can identify, you would use an icon that looks just like this. If you needed to delete an item, well, I'm guessing you would use the trash can icon. And if you needed to snap a photo or like something, if you needed to attach an image, go to your shopping cart, one of my personal favorites, right? Those are all icons with which you're probably already familiar. Now there are some very common graphics and icons that are used in the world around us. Take this one for example. This shows you the quickest and nearest exit to a building. Or this one, do not enter. Or this one. Now, this icon is something that you might be in a hurry when you need to use it. This one is one of my favorite icons, especially in class. Now this one, imagine yourself on a day, maybe like today, where it's a little bit cooler and snowy, and you're in a place that you don't know the language, but you see this sign about a warm and cozy looking building. Well, I bet you'll stop in for a cup of tea or coffee. So let's pretend that you are working on a project and your manager asks you to send him or her an email. Which icon would you use to open up your email? That's right, you would use the mail and the send mail icon. Now, let's say your manager replies to you with an audio message, but you're having trouble hearing it. How would you change your volume? Right, by using the icon that looks like a speaker. What if you, on your lunch break, needed to buy a few things from an online store? You would probably check them out in your online cart. And lastly, you need to print off that report and put it on your boss's desk. That's right, the printer icon. So icons and graphics and symbols are something with which you're already familiar. We're just going to incorporate that into written text so you can take your strength that you already have and add it to written text, literature, informational text, articles, newspapers, all of that good stuff. Let's get started. So with the example of a newspaper, when you open up a newspaper, or maybe you open it up on a computer these days, you see two main things: text and images. So what we're going to do is we're going to play a little bit of a game where I want you to guess the headline of the article from which I took these pictures. Let's start with just one picture. So this is a picture of an old cafe racer style motorcycle. What would you think this article was about? Well, we have a lot of different options, right? Because we only have one picture, well, this could be about how to repair a motorcycle. This could be about if this motorcycle has any sort of historical significance Or maybe this is simply about a coffee shop in town that caters to motorcyclists. Maybe it's about the safety tips for winter on your motorcycle. It could be about a lot of things. So that's why when we're studying graphics, the more, the better. Like in this example. We see here, Let's Go Royals pennant. It looks like at the K. And now we see concession food. So what we first thought, oh man, maybe that article's about this one player that I wanted for us to have on our team, or maybe it's about going back to the stadium if fans will be allowed in 2021. But with this second image, we begin to understand, okay, this is probably about the Kansas City Royals baseball team and the concession food. Let's try another one. So formerly known as Sprint Center before their acquisition by T-Mobile, if you see just the T-Mobile Center, what would you think? Maybe an event coming up, maybe a concert. Well, now with the added graphic of basketball, I think, oh man, maybe there's a basketball game or a basketball learning camp. Or maybe there's going to be a seminar on basketball put on by a famous basketball player. Now we see a tournament bracket. So with 3 simple images, we're able to understand this article, this newspaper, this text, whatever it will be, is most likely going to be about a basketball tournament at the T-Mobile Center. This one. I just see 10 items of data. Could be about anything. Well, now we're speaking my language. Those look like 3 tacos that look delicious. Oh my goodness. So maybe this is an article about top 10 ways to make your tacos at home. Maybe. Oh, well now I see a map with a dot on Kansas City. So maybe this is the top 10 places to go get some tacos in Kansas City for a reasonable price, for under $3. Now that's an article that I would read and read again. Let's try one more time. This article I actually read this morning. There's our beloved mayor in Tampa Bay, Florida. So now I'm thinking, okay, it could have been about the mayor and anything that he's done recently. Well, Tampa Bay, Florida had some significance a couple weeks ago. But what was he doing there? Well, there's a photo of Charlie Bird Parker, famous jazz musician. A saxophone. And Disney's Epcot Resort. So with the more pictures, we're able to put it into place a story that makes more sense. So this story was actually that Mayor Quentin Lucas went to Tampa Bay, Florida for the Chiefs trip there a couple weeks ago. He presented Charlie Parker's saxophone from the Kansas City Museum of Jazz as a gesture of goodwill to the Epcot New Disney's Soul Museum. And these images and these graphics help us gain an understanding, a better understanding of what the text will be about and how we can communicate that. So here's a headline: Protect your pipes this winter. And with these 2 images of a wintry day and the pipes under my sink, I know exactly what it's talking about. Before that, I'm originally not from Kansas City, so I don't even know what the word winter means. That's a joke. Another headline: Local restaurants expect record sales on Super Bowl Sunday. Here's a picture of one of my favorite local restaurants. Unfortunately empty right now, but hopefully they got a good bit of business last Sunday and they'll continue to get that. So now it's your turn. You're going to assume the job of a headline writer, and in our online folder you'll find some images and some articles to mix and match. That's all we have time for this week. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful rest of your day.